Let's talk about the evidence that supports the endosymbiotic theory. Remember that the endosymbiotic theory explains where mitochondria and chloroplasts come from. Billions of years ago, eukaryotic cells engulfed two types of cells, and rather than destroying and killing them, they kept them around. And those cells became our current-day mitochondria and chloroplast. But again, what's the evidence that supports this theory? Well, first, they're membranes. Both mitochondria and chloroplasts have two membranes. That's because the outer membrane of both mitochondria and chloroplasts come from the eukaryotic cell engulfing them billions of years ago. Secondly, and in my opinion the most interesting of the evidence, is that mitochondria and chloroplasts both have their own DNA that's circular. And if you remember, prokaryotic cells have circular DNA as well. So when your bio teacher tells you that all of the cell's DNA is in the nucleus, they're kind of lying to you. Most of the DNA, like 99.9% of the DNA, is in a cell's nucleus. But yeah, mitochondria and chloroplasts both have their own DNA because they were once free-living organisms. Mitochondria and chloroplasts also have their own ribosomes. And if you remember, ribosomes are one of the essential organelles for all cells. And that's again because mitochondria and chloroplasts billions of years ago were free-living organisms that needed these ribosomes. The next piece of evidence is how they reproduce. Both mitochondria and chloroplasts reproduce in an asexual fashion, very similar to that of bacteria. They don't divide like a eukaryotic cell, they divide more like a prokaryotic cell. And lastly, I do like to mention that the size comparison between prokaryotic life and the mitochondria and chloroplasts are very similar. Sort of circumstantial evidence, but still part of the endosymbiotic theory.